Happy Friday. Thank you for showing up here to learn something about Charity Engine. I always say that, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I don't want it to become noise when I say things like that, but investing in knowledge in Charity Engine can only strengthen the relationship that we have for sure. So, especially on a Friday, I always say that. Thank you for showing up. Um, I guess the housekeeping stuff. We're going to send this video out as a recording, and then the questions are up underneath the Q&A question mark up top. Ask questions anytime. Bree will interrupt me for anything at any time, and we'll either address it or move on. But please do ask questions. Perfect. This one, some basic stuff here for sure, but as well, I think the basics contain some tips and tricks here that I definitely want to go over and show you. I know we're going to do Report Builder. It's a simple reporting tool. We're going to do email blast workflow. I really want to show you something about the workflow. I want to, and you don't have to use it this way that I show you, but I want to show you the intention of it and how it was intended to be used and built. So I'll show you that. Excuse me, how it was intended to be used as we built it. I said I was going to do some basic importing. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to do that. I thought maybe at the end I would go over some tips, and these tips really come from some recent cases that we've seen, right? So if it's affecting one person, I feel like it's probably affecting others, and you can make your choice if you want to. So we'll move along here, and we'll see how it progresses. You can chime in on the um, the questions if you feel like importing is something that's really important to you. Maybe we can do something different outside of the meeting. But really, we're just going to be a basics on importing anyway. So let's see. I hope that's not disappointing to anybody, for sure. For sure. Let's see. Bree, I'm going to ask you to remove yourself from the screen. I know you're pretty.
Okay.
Thank you so much. And then, like I said, while you're back there, please interrupt me at any point. So, report builder, right? Like I've written down here, what is it? Where is it? Right? Pros and cons. So, report builder is exactly what it sounds like. It's building reports for you. What do I like about it personally? I can get a consolidated list of data out of the report builder very quickly, very efficiently, and very customized. I think can then go take that data and show it to someone. Yes, we can save it, schedule it. We're going to go over that for sure. That's very valuable. But just to be able to quickly get that data at your fingertips, because a lot of people are asking for data. So that to me is the benefit. Saying, what are the comparable capabilities in Charity Engine for reporting? So report builder, query builder. We know whenever I say query builder, we should think, some complexity, right? Some. That is the advantage of report builder over query builder, is the fact that it's not complex, it's simple for sure. The reporting section that we have is the other capability, where these are the canned reports, and the report builder then I believe has the capability to rival some of those canned reports that are flat, right? Because you can add your own fields that you want to add that are available. You can rename the fields. You can make the exporting more customizable like that. But don't get me wrong, the report section is very, very powerful. If no one knows what I'm talking about here, I'm sure you do, right? But under the more, it's reports, right? These are all of our canned reports. So just something very simple, fundraising, right? New donors, right? Reporting like that. This is what I'm talking about. So the reporting does have filtering here for sure, but you see, you're going to have some restrictions on the export, right? So let me go to a listing screen here. I call these listing screens because they list the data up front. Dashboard, maybe some people call it, but to me, it's a listing screen. On the listing screens, we're going to have report builder here, right? It's always this graphical type of icon. Looks like a little bit like an Excel kind of like graph, because it's going to export Excel to you, right? If you hover over there, it gives you the tooltip: save and search and export settings, right? So the report builder is comprised of two components. It's the filtering and the fields, the filtering and the fields. So we want to set our filtering first by, let's say, this is going to be contact type. It's just going to be people. And it's going to be, I don't even know if we bring any up here last month, and then we can search and we'll see what comes back for the contacts. Okay, great. So we have last month's contacts, right? Very simple search, of course, very simple, right? But I just want to display the effect here that it's filtering first, then fields, right? If you don't need any filtering, great, no problem. But quick filters is what I just used. Quick filters is what I just used. We can move into the advanced filtering, right? Inside the advanced filtering, there's tons of filters here that we can use to just further segment the data, right? I'm not going to particularly don't have to use any back here. I just want to let you know the construction of the report is based in these two filters plus the field. So I have my filtering set, right? I have my filtering set. So I want to export this set of fields, right? I want to let you know right away that there is a way to export the entire screen with the export button here, but then you lose the capabilities of the report builder, which is a little bit of the customization, right? So if we click on the report builder icon, we're going to get the report builder interface to come up, and we can see right away. I always tell people right away, please just name the report, right? See, I always spell things wrong, but I did pretty good that time. Okay, great. Um, I say that because it's important to know that this is a requirement for saving, and saving this report is going to be important in a moment. It does not have to be saved. I want to let you know that. The quick and efficient method I was talking about is you could come here, select your fields, and then export, right? But we are
Right.
going to save this one just to show. Yes,
Sorry, super quick. Can you just increase your, Zoom percentage?
increase my zoom
They're just
percentage.
having a little trouble reading.
Like that? Is it better? I don't know. It was like 2 clicks up. If it gets too large over here, I can't really maneuver around the screen very
Okay.
well. Is that better at all? Hard to say. It didn't do much, to be honest with you.
Okay, yeah, we have confirmation.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm sure it's not much better. So whoever said that, thank you for having patience. I appreciate it. Um, great. So then we have our fields, right? So then the idea is these are the available fields. Okay, down to here, down to here. These are the available fields for export on this listing screen for this module, right? These are the available fields. If you don't see your field here, it's not available. Simple as that, right? If you'd like to add a field here, please reach out and let us know, right? But there would be no instance in Report Builder where we could add fields on the fly or create fields to come in here, right? That is a development operation for sure. But we always looking to add additional fields, to provide value for whatever reporting people want. So if you do need fields, please speak up. Please speak up. The idea here is to get these fields. So these are contact people. I'm going to want their contact ID. That's our unique identifier. This is just my report. Your report would be completely up to you what you want to do with it, right? Contact ID. The date created don't really need because I know this is a report for last month, right? First name, last name, etc., etc. Right? This goes on to view whatever you'd like to view about these people. Just something like that. Okay. And then once you have the fields over here, you have your filtering and your fields, then you can easily move these around like this. And this looks maybe new, this purple box, maybe, or maybe I'm behind. That's really slick. So there's no doubt where you're going to move this to as you move it around. I love that, actually. Um, Great. Also, you can rename the field by double clicking on it and then clicking inside the edit box. You just call this L name if you want, right? So whatever field definitions make sense to you as you export it, right? Because I'm just in this scenario, we're going to give this data to somebody else who maybe calls these things different. So we can rename these before we export them, right? So simply have my report here. That's it. I have my filtering. I have my fields. I'm going to go ahead. I gave it a name. I'm going to go ahead and save it. Okay. Save successfully. Success, right? When I say save it, it loads the report up in the top, and we can see that by the unload button is active now. So the blue X is for unloading the report. If you need to get back to the report, you click next to the blue X. Do you see there's no tooltip there, right? It says click to modify loaded report settings. I click it and I get my report to come back up. Okay. If I click on the button, guess what happens? Obviously, my report goes away. Right? I don't have my report anymore. I say that because these are so close together, right? But there is a huge difference in manipulating the same icon, right? So that I want to make that clear. So, oh, it's gone. How do I bring it back? Well, I'm going to click it. I'm going to click load save report. Here's Brian's test report for context. I can bring it up. Okay. Just for simplicity purposes, just to show you it's the same data, right? No big deal. But for simplistic purposes, I could accident, right? I unloaded it, right? I can load it back again at any time, right? I just want to let you know this is not, you're not hurting anything by loading and unloading a report on the listing screen. So, but just know, obviously, clicking beside, not clicking the unload, clicking beside. So I've saved it. I've loaded it back up. What can I do with it? I can export it, right? Export it. So here's this option that I said export without saving, right? Export without saving. If I just, maybe quickly, I know I really pumped it up, right? How efficient it was. So let me see if I can show you how efficient it is, right? If I do something like transactions, search and manage. And I just want to get like last week's transactions, right? It is slow here today. I do apologize for that. Okay, excellent. I can do anything about it, but I apologize for it. We'll go dates last week, I said, and search. I just want to take a quick peek. I'm always looking at the pagination, right? Yeah, that's great. It's only 26 of them, no problem. That sounds about right for my org, my role, my week, right? I always say, the there's a subset of data that is mechanical, and then there's a subset of data that you know about your org, right? So I'm always looking at the numbers to make sure things make sense to me before I do anything to solidify it, right? So I have these people up. I hit it, right? I want their ID, excuse me, transaction ID, the amount signed, right, and the payment method, and then we'll get some of this customer information here. Let's just say organization name, customer first name, customer last name, export without saving. Right, and I should be able to get this now. Click it and have this downloaded report come through. So super simple, super simple. I can put it in my downloads. I can save it. It'll pop up here and it'll come up in Excel. Right. I just wanted to show you that that is a very efficient way to get that. So, and again, the difference between exporting this gives you tons of fields. This gives you the fields that you choose with the rename. Right. So again, I do think it's efficient, right, for sure. We'll come back to the contact screen. We'll just kind of stay here, but I did mention previous, it's on all the listing screens. So again, transactions, campaigns, events, the report builder is there. It's for you to investigate. Open a report builder, look at the fields, the reportable fields that you have there, create your reports, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm kind of going to stay here in the contact screen for a minute, right? Again, we have it here. We can load it here, right? What I find is that people get locked into this type of routine, which is fine. This is the way that the application leads you because this is very quick and efficient. It should be done that way. But these reports do live somewhere, right? For sure. And I want to show you where they live because there's an administrative type of functioning over there, right? For sure. So I'll leave this screen. It's over in the report section, believe it or not, right? So reports, general, report builder. Okay, great. Report builders for today, right? This is the sticky filtering. So I've been here before and I needed to see the report I made today. I'm back here. I want to see the report I made again today as well. So, kudos to the sticky filtering for helping me for sure, right? I click it. Here's my contacts from last month report, right? So it's listed here. So then what can we do from here? What's the value, right? What's the benefit? Number one, we can share it. So right now, visibility is a personal report, which means that if I go to the transaction listing screen and I load up this report, only I can see it. If I tell someone, go and look at that report, when they hit the drop down, it won't be visible for them. The sharing is all or nothing, saying that this was my personal report right now. If I share it, everyone can see it, right? There's no granular permissions there to share reporting across any type of permissions or user accounts or user values, right? So just know that if I wanted to share it, I could share it. What else can I do here? If I wanted to come here as more of like a reporting administration dashboard, I could totally do that, right? If I just remove this and click search, remove this as well and click search, I'll get like all, right? So I'm viewing all the reports, but now it's more of like a listing screen dashboard style of reporting, right? So this is my report. What can I do from here? I can actually just load it up from here, right? So I don't have to traverse to the transactions screen. If I'm doing what? Doing some administration work on my reporting. Maybe I have 4 reports that I need to look at. I need to make a change because something was wrong. Who knows? I'm making up these scenarios, but I can just load this report from here instead of going into the contacts, loading it. Then I go to the events and load my report, go to the transactions and load my report. So and we can see that when it comes up on screen here that it has the filtering and it has the fields. Clicking next to the blue button, it has the fields, right? Okay,
Right.
excellent.
So
Yes.
is this similar to, like, someone might be able to set it up to see, like, new transactions or new people every week this way?
Yeah, totally, right? Like a rolling type report, right? That is the thanks, Bree. I appreciate that.
Mhm.
That is the value between knowing that this is filtering and fields, not just filtering. So I'm here for last month. That's great, right? But if we moved over to something like this is a like a real world report that people do like to use transactions because I'm going to mention something about transactions later. Hopefully, we'll get to it. Just like best practices for large CRM. You should be honestly looking at your transactions all the time. And I know mostly everybody is, but it's important to say that, right? Important to say it out loud. So this is going to be dates last week. Here's my sticky filtering helping me out again, right? So what you can do is set your filtering for last week, and then you can save it. And then from your dashboard component, whenever you're ready to load it up. So it's like you can load it up and you can see from last week. So let's say it's you want the report on Monday morning for transactions last week. You'd come in Monday morning to your dashboard. You'd load the report up. You would see last week's transactions. When as the week progresses and new transactions come in, when you go on Monday morning, you're going to see a new stretch of last week's transactions, right? Like that. So that answers the question, Bree, completely.
Yep, sounds perfect.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
But that leads to something else as well, which is the fact that you don't have to go in to your management dashboard for reporting. You don't have to go into the listing screens to open the report for the report builder. You can put it on a schedule, right? So we'll go back to the contact screen. Just want to make sure this is clean. I'm just going to load this report up again, right? Excellent. Now that this is loaded up here, if I click next to the blue, not on the blue, click next to the blue, um, I, I'm going to see as soon as I saved it, this kind of scheduler icon shows up. It's a calendar, right? It's not a briefcase. It's a calendar, I promise you. Schedule export, nice tooltip there, right? So if I schedule the export, now I have a very quick way to get that done. So if this was, as an example, last week's transactions, I want to see it every Monday, I could set this up here for sure, right? So this is like Brian's running report of new contacts, something like that. And there's my spelling. Sorry about that. So the start date, if you want to start it now, there's no reason to give it a date. If it's a targeted type of report, you can give it a date. You can give it an until date as well to give it a stretch, right? This is just for the scheduling. The report will always live. It won't be deleted or removed, right? Then you give it the frequency. I know this contact thing said month, but if we continue down the vein of the transaction reporting per week, then we would say we want the frequency to be weekly. And then who you want to notify. These are the people who want the report, right? and then create. Okay, the schedule is here created. So this is a very quick modal wizard. But if you click here in the background, it's going to take you to the official scheduling page in Charity Engine, right? And then this should look familiar. If you've ever done any report scheduling, official report scheduling, this should look familiar to you, right? I'm not going to go through this or go over this, but I want you to know that once you set the schedule, where it lives, where the schedule lives. Okay, so the schedule lives here. Let me see if I can find it. Is it general? Uh, 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 Job scheduler. And let's see. I hope I'm right. Yeah. So there's Brian's running report of new contacts. Okay. So we're providing a little bit of efficiency in the setup with the wizard. Okay. Short way. This is the long way home. If for some reason the schedule changes, you need to stop the schedule. You can do that here for sure. Can you do that over here? It's a great question. Let me see. When I click this, you're going to see the wizard again, right? Schedule. Now here's the wizard right here, right? Schedule export. So you can bring that wizard back up here and make changes to that. But still, at the end of the day, please know where they live to manage that, right? And they live over in that automation job scheduler. Let me do again because I had some confusion there. I think it was right on the first one, right? It was general job scheduler. Excellent. And the sticky filtering will kick in again and give me the same view that I had. Knock the wood. There you go. Okay, excellent. All right, so now we have it scheduled. Now we go through. Was there anything else I wanted to say about that? Bree, is there any other questions about that at all?
Um, I I don't have anything more that you were thinking of mentioning. And
Excellent.
no, our next question kind of pertains to the topic we'll be going into, but nothing. Um,
What is it?
let's see here. Someone said background images in their email settings are not working. Would you be able to cover that?
Background images in the email settings. I'm not quite sure I know what that means,
Um,
but you could do your thing, Bree. See if you can get some information. But yes, I did want to go through the email blast workflow,
mhm,
so
mhm.
I will go through that. I will go through that and see. Um, Sorry we're not on the same page with that, but I'd love to answer the question. Hopefully this does. I don't think it will because this is more like procedural what I'm going to show you. Let's see.
We have a couple more whenever you
Yeah,
are
sure.
ready.
Bree, please. Yeah, just stop me and let me know. I think the interaction is valuable for me. I want to let you know that right away. So please stop me. I'm not here to hear myself speak. That's for sure.
We have one relating to the reporting. Can we use this reporting tool to get data from email campaigns?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's just like, and I said that like it's an investigation value, like for you to go to your listing screens that you use most often and see if Report Builder is there, right? So if we go to the create and publish for creatives, we should see it, right? Initiatives, we should see it. Campaigns, we should see it. I don't want to open too many tabs. It looks like my internet's struggling already, right? But yes, and then the last one would be like popular reporting, right? I think that's kind of the question of what we're getting at there. So
Mhm.
I'll shrink these down and just use these, right? So campaigns, we see what do we have? Report Builder, right? It's just a matter of what fields are available here for export, right? It's just a matter of what fields are available for export. Same thing. So initiative analytics, all this should be fine. There's probably not many in here, right? Or wrong. Let's see. Anyway, the idea is that yes, we do have that up top here for campaign reporting, creatives, initiatives, et cetera, right? I'll wait.
Awesome. And
Let's
then
see.
also,
Anything else, Bree?
yeah, also, would someone be able to show those scheduled reports on their dashboard?
Show the scheduled reports on their dashboard. just, for a visual indication of how many you have, something like that. Off the top of my head, I don't think so,
Okay.
but I'm immediately going for a workaround. I'm looking for the driver and the value of doing that. If there is such a statement that can be produced about that, maybe there's a workaround we can have, because I know right away. So it's certainly one click away from your dashboard. See, I'm viewing this as a personal thing. Like I want to view my right, but maybe they're saying like we want to see all of ours or something like that. I'm not sure, but the pins gives it can keep you one click away from anything at any point, right? So just as a backup there, right? If I do job scheduler here, and then I set my filtering. Maybe this is just going to be my jobs, something like that. Just last run today or whatever, and then I can just pin this sucker and put it over here and be done with it. How can I do that here? Pin. Okay, great. Did it work? Did it pin it? Huh? Anybody? Did it pin it? Pins? No. Anyway, trust me. You're one click away from viewing all your jobs and your job schedulers. So again, I don't know. I feel like that's a workaround answer. But if you need to have them on your dashboard, I could certainly take a look at that. But I'm not off the top of my head finding any way to um, present it, like maybe through a query. I would have to like go in there and take a look. But
Um,
so-
do you have something on your dashboard that shows them that way? They said that you had previously said that they show up on your dashboard each morning.
maybe this was the reporting dashboard. Right, so
Oh, a
yeah,
separate one.
the language interchangeable, things like that, right? So this is what I was calling your report builder dashboards here, I believe, right? So then if you come here, report builder, you can pin this one as well, and you can be one click away from then seeing, here's your reports, right? And the value and the advantage of that was to work from here. You don't have to be on your listing screens to view, edit, schedule your reports. You can view them all here, load them up, change them, export them, etc. Right? Hopefully that answered the question.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, great. Email blast workflow. Um, I want to show you I think the intention of it and how it was intended to use. Again, I keep saying this, like you don't have to use it this way, right? Just because I say I like it this way or this is how it's built or whatever, totally do what's comfortable for you, especially if you have a routine in place already, right? But sometimes it can bring to light the reasons of like why or when or where, because if you're not using it the way it was intended to be built, then you might run into some things that you're like, oh, that's interesting, right? So let's just do this, right? So campaigns, create and publish creative. So nothing really about creating creatives here. This is just about the process and what we're doing, right? Oh, not the creatives, excuse me. I'm following the bad way already. I'm following the bad way already, right? Send email blast, right? So you can get there from the large actions button, right? I call it overall actions. Send email blast. You can get there through the creative. Like I was going to drive to the creative and then say take it into the email blast, but what I'm going to show you doesn't involve that, right? Um, Send email blast. So I can come here with no assets, no data, and I can get out of here successful saying when this comes up. So this is like me building an email, right? I need to send this email to Bree first. That's always my routine, right? I have my instructions on what to build. I'm going to build it. I'm going to send it to Bree. Bree's going to take a look at it. She's going to put her edits in. She's going to send it back to me. I'm going to put it back in. I'm going to make my edits and then I'm going to send it to her. She's going to success and then we're going to send it out. I don't know if that is a even close to any routine that you would use, right? But if you don't have anybody to send to except yourself, then you would just send it to yourself, view it, make changes, send it to yourself, view it, make changes, send it out. Here's what I'm saying. Um, the list here, I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to do something manual here, right? Send it to myself. for sure, because I don't really have like a team of people, right? I mentioned Bree, it's one person, right? It's small, right? I go to the message, now it tells me create new, select existing, upload code, right? So in this instance, I'm building the email. I'm going to create it new. Now I get the email builder is here, right? So I'm going to build an email, like add some images, like whatever I want to do, right? So I'm building out my email. I'm building out my email. I'm doing whatever I need to do to build it out, right? We have all of the menu items up here at the top as well. So when I click things like the merge tokens, I have those available to me to build, right? The spam testing is here. I can do a quick preview to my inbox right here. Very quick preview, quick and dirty, right? For sure. It's just like, well, it looks funny here. Is it going to look funny? Like that, right? The preview as well, the templates, and then the writer, right? Let me have to give this a subject. Excellent. So now what's going to happen? I'm done with that. I'm going to move on to the next step. Right. When I move to the next step, that's saving my creative into the background, into the creative space. Right. Then I have my options: send now, send later, test, normal, more settings. Right. So if I was testing and I could run it in test mode, I don't want to do it later. I want to send it to myself now. I'm not going to send this one. Right. But that's the concept. So I would send that out. Right. And I would take a look at it. Okay. Done with the email blast workflow. So I'm looking at the email. I see, oh, it needs some edits, of course, right? It needs some edits. So I'm going to go. I know it was saved in the creatives, so I'll go back to the creatives. I just want to see. I just want to see, right, that it's here, and it is here. Brian, new test email, right? So if I do the same thing here, send email blast, I can use this in the same manner, right? That's like my peculiarities. I just like to see data when I save it. That's just something for me. I know a lot of people are not like that, so you really don't have to progress that screen if you don't want to. But just know we're going into the email blast workflow. I say we're going into the email blast workflow, Charity Engine.
Um, oh,
Okay, great.
sorry.
Yes.
We have someone that is just kind of confirming for one of our earlier questions that they think that is what that person was referring to about the images not showing up in newsletters, for example.
I answered it.
It sounds like it.
Is that what we're saying? I'm still confused. I don't know why. Oh, no
Um,
problem. No
and
problem.
then and then someone asked if you would be able to show how to build a mail initiative or create an audience.
Yeah, totally. Let me just write down the initiative
Of
because
course.
this workflow that I'm showing you is going to be comparable to the initiative workflow. I want you to show and understand there's two ways to do this, more, but two main ways to get this done. This is one main way that I think most people don't know, that you can do everything you'd ever want to do from the email blast workflow. They view it as like oh, phase three of my, so it's like I'm going to open my creative and make my creative phase one. I'm going to pack up my initiative phase two. I'm going to put it in the email blast. I know those things don't go together, bear with me, but I'm saying, right? So they view it as like a step, when actually the email blast workflow is the entire workflow from creation to send, from creation to schedule send, right? From creation to edits to creation to send, right? It's the entire thing. There's nothing inside this email blast workflow that's not available in the initiative when you pack it up. The goals and the cost, maybe those are not available. So maybe I'm a liar there, but you can still do this, right? You still do this. So he said an initiative. I'm just going to show the initiative, how to build a list, right? I don't know why I said he. My apologies. That was a terrible assumption.
That's all right. It was a she.
Apo- Terrible apologies then. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
But yes, how to build a mail initiative or create an audience.
Yeah, obviously, my mind is just like a freight train, right? So there's probably 7 different ways to do that, but I'm going to show you some best practice for sure. But anything else, Bree, before I go on?
Um, apparently we did not answer that question
Yeah, I
from
figured as
earlier,
much. I
so,
figured as much. Yeah, yeah.
um,
You want to take
or
that one offline?
yeah,
Um,
yeah, we can definitely reach out to them for sure.
yeah, just totally like create a ticket like right now and just
Absolutely.
pop it in there. And then that way we have the accountability. We'll get back.
And as far as the initiative or creating an audience, they said or specifically um, acknowledgement, and that's from Gina.
Say that again.
So, how to build a mail initiative or create an audience?
Okay. Okay. An audience. We'll stick with that. But yeah, so
Okay.
when I go to the initiative section, it's either mail or email or SMS or whatever. It's kind of like all the same. Right? It's kind of like all the same. Right. So I wrote down here build an audience. I'll get to that 100%. Excellent. So I know we diverted a little bit here, and I love that. It's fine, right? Bring it back on track. What's happening here? I sent out the email. It needs some. I viewed it myself. It needs some edits. So I've come back in here. So what do I want to do? I still want to email it to myself. Move on to the next. Here's the message. Now I know I have it there. Um, I went and laid eyes on it, right? So I think it was like Brian test or something like that. And Brian new test email. So now it's going to load up in here again, right? And when it does, it should create me a version. Should. Let's see if it does. Should create me a new version. So I have a version of the old and a version of the new, right? And then as I make my changes, right, that should create that versioning for you. I think. I think. But here, so this is not time for a great email design. It's time to say hello, right? So I made my changes. I'm satisfied with my changes. I can do my little inbox preview again to make sure that everything looks okay from a really quick content point of view. I go to my settings, and then I'll send this sucker out the same way. Either send it out in test mode again or not, right? And then we'll move on the way. I'll get the email. I'll take a look at it. I'll say the email looks great. I love it. I'm going to go back into the email blast workflow. Send email blast. Notice I didn't go to check if that's saved, right? We'll check it inside the app here. Now I'm ready to launch. I'm not going to select it, but I would want to select my full list now because my email looks great. I've sent it, everything's good, to, from, reply to, etc. Content is good, right? So I'll go back to manual. Just for this example, I'm going back to manual. I obviously just told you should be sending the email, right? Then we're going to select the existing, right? I think I just did test last time, right? So now we have it here, right? We have it. This is the one, I believe. Let me see. Even if it's not, we're going to use it. No big deal. Saying that this is the final email, right? And there it is, hello, right? So you saw those two copies. I had my original version before I made changes. Now I have my change version, right? This is final draft. I'm going to send it out, right? So we can clean that up later is what I'm saying, but it's very valuable to have those versions there so you can go back to what it looked like before. What did we say change? What was happening, right? Again, a point of value here, just being inside the email blast workflow and using it in this manner, right? So then we would go to the settings, and then obviously we would send this sucker out, right? Probably this one's going to be like send later or something like that right now because we're sending it truthfully, right? So maybe like send it later, give it a thing, Eastern time, whatever you want, and send it off, right? So that's that. And that's the intention. That's how the email blast workflow was built. It's how it's intended to be used, right? So alternative to that would be what I call packing up an initiative, right? So let me get off this screen.
Real quick while you're getting
Yeah,
over
absolutely.
there.
What's up?
So someone asked, is there no preview mode?
Preview mode. There is. That is the inbox over here on the message. So if I do this and I put in my email and click send, it's just going to send me really quick. Why I call it quick and dirty? It's not going to apply the tokens that are in your email. It's not going to apply the reply tos, the senders. It's not going to apply that stuff. It's going to apply some very generic information just to send it out. It's a content review here. Inbox is a content review, right? So that's how you do that. Hopefully I answered that question.
Thank you. And I
Yeah, for
think
sure.
you're headed towards this one,
Mhm.
but someone said, "Can you show how to schedule an email blast?"
Oh, totally. We were just on that screen,
Yep,
right?
yep.
We were on that screen. So once I get to the settings step and I'm ready to go, it's send it later, right? Send it later. Yeah, great question. Because there is something to mention here for sure, and it's the fact that um, I said pack up an initiative. I say it that way for a reason. The reason is because we are packing this stuff up, we're wrapping a bow on it, and we're sending it over to a server. We still have visibility into it because of the sync between the servers, but the campaign mailer is ready to send this sucker out. Okay. And I'll show you what it would look like if it was there, right? Or should I just schedule this one to be like some crazy time in the future, right? Like here and next. And this was just on my list, right? So here we go, right? View initiative results. And I went to in the last one of these we had, I'm sure I went over some of the capabilities for fail safes in the email blast workflow. It was viewing my audience before I send it, view estimate, I think it's called like that. If you want to go back and look at that one, please do. We have some help center articles as well where you can put in a case, right?
That's what I was just gonna mention too, because it seems like sending one of these can be a little nerve-wracking.
Oh boy, like the first one, watch out for
Right.
sure. 100%. And it all depends on experience. So some people have experience across applications. When people run into trouble is when, it's like, I've been doing this for a couple years or some years and it's kind of locked into my workflow. So now you put a different application in front of me that doesn't work the same way, right? There's definite friction there, right? Because now it's like we stole your cheese, right? So you have to learn a new path, a new way to do things, right? So it can be very nerve wracking, very nerve wracking. Did you want to see those, Bree? Do you think we should just show that real quick?
Sure, I know you
Okay,
already
great.
mentioned a couple of them, like the estimated audience
Yeah, let me
and
show you. It's on the
yeah.
last page, right? It's like, hey, whoa, like, are you sure? Like, are you sure? Yeah, like that, right? So it's good. It's good. But I got to do this whole thing again. So bear with me. Oh, Jakey. Message, select existing, name, test. Right now I have 3 here, right? Because I've scheduled my final one, right? I said we can go back and clean these up. You can go back and clean them up, right? But I'm just going to select this one. Okay, great. I'm going to go to the settings step. And I'll say, okay, great. Safety net for me here. And then I'll go confirm and send, right? And now it's like this. It's like, oh, um, I'm very nervous because this is the last step. We put an email icon next to process on purpose because you're not going to click process, you know what I mean, and have like a modal pop up and be like, okay, process which one? We're done here, right? You're going to process when you click this. So this is your last opportunity, right? So here's my subject, right? If I want to view the message, I can do that. It takes me back to the message setting where I want to view. I was like, am I sure? Did I make all the changes? I want to be sure. I want to be sure, right? Now I can go back to confirm and send and it'll jump me back here, right? That's number one, content related. Number two is the recipients, right? I know my list is here. If I view the estimate, it's going to load up the contacts that are in the list so I can visually see them and know that the application is in concert with me and what I want to do. I only want to send to Brian Moser. I only want to send to one person. This looks great, right? Those two things in general should just give you confidence that you're sending out in the right manner that you want to, right? So then this one got scheduled, right? Are we okay to move on, Bree?
What if you do send, you think all is well, we're ready to go, and
Hmm.
then you have that moment of panic
I'm
afterwards,
headed
like,
that way.
"Oh, heck."
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
awesome,
Yeah,
thank
we're on the
you.
same page. Yeah, yeah, for sure. So it's like scheduled into the future. That's why I scheduled that other one into the future just to show you. So let me just
Perfect.
completely dump out of this
We
blast.
also that was our next question that we just received also. If you schedule
I
an
love it.
email but realize you need to edit it, are you able to take it down, edit, and reschedule?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I was headed that way.
Yep.
Bless whoever asked that, because it put me right back on track of where I need to be, because that is super important. I'm gonna take you over here though to do it, right? So campaigns, popular reports, initiative analytics. This screen gives you the um, best data for the value of what you are looking at, right? For sure. But I just want to show you how it looks scheduled first, right? I should do my quick filtering. Shame on you, Brian. Should have done today, right? You know, I don't know if we bring it up today, if it's scheduled, if it does create or it does schedule. It's very interesting. Let's see. Yes, I'll wait, CharityEngine. I'll wait. Okay, great. So we see that the email blast date on this one is 131 and the status is pending. It's pending, right? If it wasn't pending and it wasn't scheduled this way, you would still see it pending. It would say email blast date today, pending. We give you like 1.5 minutes, maybe, on this screen to cancel this sucker. If you feel like, hey, I clicked process, but I got an email. They were like, no, don't. Right? I was like, heart attack, right? Okay, let me go here. Right. So I have 1.5 minutes to get over my heart attack to come here and click cancel. Right. I click cancel. It's done. It's gonna stay here. Right. I did it again. It's gonna stay here. But now to be canceled, it'll just say cancel. So that was one part of what I wanted to show. Bree, you said something else though, right? Not to put you on the spot. I can't remember. There was something else to that, right? Or no?
Because I know that was part of our reassurance.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. That's really important. Okay. So now okay. Yes, it was about the what I call repack, right? Repack. So yes, you have to repack the initiative or repack the email in order to get it to go out if you want to make changes to one that's already scheduled to leave. That is super important. I'll say it again. If you have an email that is scheduled to go out and you need to make changes, you need to cancel this one and you need to make the changes to your creative, create that new version, and then put it back through the email blast workflow and schedule it again. That was all of what I was talking about. It's packed up and it's on the server. So we have a visual into this data right here, but this data is not laying where you think it is, right? It's over on the server waiting to go, right? So that is super important to know as well. Super important. Thank you, Bree. That's awesome. Any other questions? If no, it's fine.
We do have an email related one. Let's see. I want to isolate our contacts, not organizations, who have unsubscribed to our emails.
Mhm. My mind immediately goes to a canned report,
Okay.
right? So this section here is segmented by initiatives because it's the initiative analytics. And if you look here, you'll be like, oh, views, delivery, success, etc. Right? When I click on something like this, I'm drilling through to this initiative. I know that seems super simple, and it is, because when I take you over to this next report over here, you're going to be looking then at all initiatives, right? So this is the rolled up view for this, and I believe it's under campaigns here. I think campaigns. Yeah, I can go back up. Campaigns, and then you'll see it in here, right? Here's one. I'll bring this up in a second. Don't let me forget, Brie. But we can do list unsubscribes. They were asking unsubscribes, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I click the list unsubscribes. So the question then is there filtering here for contact type? And I'm going to say probably not. And I'm going to say not because this is an initiative screen, right? But we're going to look and see, It might be surprised, right? No, right? So email query contact, right? We can do it by contact, right? But not contact type. Go ahead.
Yeah, they said
You're
that
gonna say something?
they've tried doing it previously with Query Builder.
Yeah, totally can be done. Totally can be done. Tried and then didn't make it? Is that the try?
I perhaps, perhaps.
Okay, it sounds like it.
I don't have
Sounds like it.
confirmation of that yet.
Okay, I wrote down the initiative. Let me build an audience is what I wrote down, and then let me write down this unsubscribes. And it's really the query is a great place to go. I say that we touch the data at a very low level there. I say it's complex, la la la. I say it's called the brown section for a reason, et cetera, right? It's difficult over there. But the only thing we need to know about the type of report you're building is whether we have the segmentation types between contacts. Are we able to break the contacts apart, right? So, or are we able to do it like in an export, like in Excel, right? So I wanted to show you this is the list unsubscribes. You can totally export this, right? But you see, there's no report builder on this screen. So there's no fields to choose from to get that data, right? So the query builder might be the best place to go. I wrote that down. How much time do we have?
Oh, about
I
10
talk a lot. I'm
minutes.
sorry. 10 minutes. Okay. Okay, great. Let me finish up what I was saying. I've been doing this all week. I tell people the thoughts are leaking. I got to keep them in. I got to keep them in. Keep them in. What in the world was I talking about before I went to list unsubscribes? Initiative analytics, packing up analytics. Um, I'm sure it's recorded, so I'll sure get bombed
I
out on that.
think
But
you were
no big
talking
deal.
about, creating the audience maybe? Is that where you were
Yeah, I'm gonna
heading?
do that in a second.
Okay.
I just wanted to show, so like alternative to everything I've just showed you about email blast, it can be done this way, right? Create and publish initiatives, right? So this is packing up an initiative, right? This is like creating a mail initiative, like what Gina said, right? I think it was Gina, right? Okay, so now I have an opportunity to create. So it's like we call them initiatives. There's a new initiative, and then there's an initiative type. That's just the way it goes, right? So I give the initiative a name, Brian email. I don't even know if I'll save it. I will save it because I'll show you. This is very CharityEngine-esque here, right? Where we have the initial fields, and then when I save it, you'll see that the tabs then to manage it will come out, right? And you'll be able to see it. So media channel is how we select that. So for the person who said mail, you would select mail as your media channel. That's really it. Once you've designated the type and you've saved it, you're good to go. Everything else is just about managing the tabs and the configurations there, right? If I want to check mail, I get mail, right? But I'm going to do email because I want to show you this is the same as the email blast workflow. It's just really flat, right? It's just really dry. You saw the flow that we built. It moves you through everything like in this section. It should be there, and you can do it and concentrate on that. Then like move to the next section and concentrate on it. This is, like I said, very flat. But goal and cost, I think, are not in there. The email blast, but regardless, so you would select a campaign if you want to. Again, your dates, right? You can start it for later or whatever. You're going to select your creative message here. You're going to select your list. You saw that down below. I just quickly saved it to show you that now the configuration tabs will be shown, right? So creative list, again, audience mode, reputation, we can see that, right? All of this stuff was in the email blast workflow as well. Like some of it was underneath the drop down for more settings, things like that, right? Um, Here, advanced, right? Do I want to go live or do I want to do a test? Do I want to send notifications or not? Do I want to put in a custom seed list, global suppression? All of this stuff was on the email blast workflow, right? The overrides for the senders, right? The regions, or excuse me, senders, custom overrides here, and then general overrides here as well. All available in the email blast workflow, right? So what you would do here is pack this up. It's a status of pending. You saved it. You would need to launch this sucker when it's ready to go, right? It's not going to give me a launch because I don't have a message and I don't have a list. Well, let me just put it in. Let me see if I'm right or wrong. I'm wrong bunch, by the way. Yeah, there it is. Launch right this time though. So big problem here. If you're new, you got to click that launch, right? It's not lunch, it's launch, right? So don't eat it, click it, right? It's got to be done. If you don't launch this, it's not going anywhere. Promise you, right? You click save, you set it for then, 131 comes up. You're putting in a case to Brian and Bree. Hey, my email didn't go. You didn't launch it. You didn't launch it, right? So just make sure that you launch it. If you're gonna use things this way, make sure that you launch them. This would be particular to the mail initiative. You would launch the mail initiative. It would go in and it would just be a running initiative in the background, right? And then as like checks come in on like the remittance slip, it's going to have the initiative ID on it. So you put in the check, put in the initiative ID, all the revenue rolls up to this initiative. This initiative then is connected to a higher level campaign where you can see the campaign statistics for multiple initiatives. I hope that makes sense to everybody, right? Just quickly on the mail initiative. But okay, I'm gonna get rid of this as well. Let me go back actually.
If you have a moment, are you able
I
to
have all
show
kinds of moments. Go ahead.
where that list unsubscribe was once more?
Yeah, totally. Under reports, right? Under reports under here. Reports. Campaigns. I always have a hard time finding it. There it is. Campaigns. It's not only unsubscribes, it's all of the initiative analytics details rolled up. Can you segment it by saying filter for a particular initiative ID? You can. This is the very same concept as the report builder. In the initiative analytics, I'm viewing individual analytics. If I want to go to the analytical dashboard, I can come over here and view them in bulk, right? So that's what we're doing. So saying, if I wanted to see my failures, recipients, bounces, I can. Those all to go together with list unsubscribe. So I can view these as well. Maybe we're sending to a set of people who are failing all the time. Like, why are we still doing that? We're not going to get money from them. We're not going to get them to come to the event if we can't reach them in the email. So cleaning and grooming your list is very important as well. And you can do it this way by loading this up. And this is going to be send failures from all of your initiatives. So how many times did it fail? It's going to say it, et cetera, right? I'm sure that answered that question. Initiatives and clean this up. Great. What else? That was the initiative. I wrote something down here, build an audience. So it depends on how you want to build an audience, how many people are in your audience, what the audience is going to be used for, right? Because we can use multiple things. For example, your report builder can be used as a list to send email. Your query can be used as a list to send email. The list can be used as a list to send email, right? But there's a different reason across why you would want to do that for each one. We'll lump report builder and the list into the same category for right now, and just make a separation between the query and let's just say lists in general. So queries, I always say, are like targeted sends. There's like, I am such an old man. I use the same examples all the time. The large T-shirts for the event are in. I'm sure somebody has heard me say that, but it's true. Targeted that way, lists, are reoccurring. That is not like a total best practice. It's just something that I know in my heart is the right thing to do, for sure. And I can talk to anybody about that later. In fact, we went over that in the last one as well. If you want to reference the last one, you can find that. It was a very specific topic we went over: targeted sends versus recurring sends. So we can do that. So quickly, I want to show you the speed and efficiency with which you can do this. Right. So organization, people, contacts, and this is just a very simple example. A very simple example, right? But still a very valid example. So what I have here, right, is my listing screen. I'm looking at all, right? So then it's like, I want to use my quick filters and I want to use my advanced filters then to segment my audience to come up with the list that I want, right? Let me show you something like this. Okay. So under advanced segmentation, we can just quickly touch like revenue filtering, right? So total amount, right? Let me just show you that stretch again. There's a lot of good stuff in here, right? But total amount, oops, is greater than or equal to 100. I don't know if there's revenue in here. Yeah, 1,500. Great. So I have that. I'm going to apply that. And here I have it. Now, again, I'm so big on visual touch of data. I immediately went to these lifetime totals, right? 1,500, right? I'm just verifying the data. Also, looking at the names of the people. These are, again, I know my data. I mean, if your database is small enough, you know it. I mean, if it's millions of records, I'm sure it's difficult, right? But there is something that people always know about their data. I know that's true. I know that's true. So, great. This report looks good to me. So then I go over here and I'm like, okay, I want to add these people to the list, right? How many people is it? 1,354. Just to be honest with you, it's a little large for this screen, right? A little large for this screen. So I'm gonna say contact type organization. And I'm going to apply. I got 26 now, right? So this is acceptable, right? I would say I think it's below 100. I think I'm not sure. I can verify that and get back to you. But if you go above a certain amount, it's going to ask you to create a job, right? But 26 here is fine, right? For sure. So I select them all. I select the multi-select, and I say add to opt-in list. I know I had 26. 26 are created. I'm going to create an opt-in list right on the fly here. I'm going to call this new list. And I'm going to process. Now 100%, that's ready to go. All you need to do is go into the email blast workflow, select your audience, load up your email, right? Send it out. And we can see that over here. We're in the campaigns, list management, opt-in lists, right? And we'll see. And I'm going to be smart about my filtering this time as well, right? Date should be for today. I don't know if it's default shared or not. Let's see. Yeah, great. So here's a new list, right? It has size of 26 people. If I wanted to verify that, I could drill through and I would see the contact screen on 26 people again, right? So that's a very basic way to create a list, right? For sure. But it is a way to build a list. Hopefully that answers the question. If you need to go above and beyond that way to create the list, you can just let Bree know in the chat. We'll create your case. We'll reach out to you and see what we can do for you, right? Some things wouldn't be applicable here. That was build an audience. That was the unsubscribes. I did the initiative thing, right? Yeah, I know we're pressing up against the hour, right? But I want to show you a couple tips and tricks here that have just come up recently. Bree, I'm okay to move on. Your
Yes, can I
questions, nothing, right?
squeeze in just one little one that you were
I would
just
love it.
touching
I
on?
would love it.
What if you want all of those contacts, even if it creates a large list? Can you still make that list?
Yeah, totally. What it does is it kicks you over to create a job, a data job, because you'll see this in Query Builder as well, right? Let me just jump over there really quick. Let's just go into like a Q&A, right? Because I got some tips here. I'm just gonna poke them out there. Um, Valuable to stay till the end. Let me see. Queries. Right. I'm inside this query. I tell everybody, export the query. Well, I guess I'm not inside it yet. Okay, I'm inside the query, right? I'm like, export your query. You know, they come and they open the query up and they hover over the ellipsis and they say, export data. When you do that, you are using the power of the application server. The application server is stretched in many ways. It's not only a report building server, right? So know that I always call this quick export, because if I export my query builder for what I call the official export, it's going to get sent over to the report server where that server does nothing but do these reports. Engineers are probably laughing at me. That's probably not true, but in our situation, it's going to be true. We're going to stand on that business for sure. So I would come here and then I would say export. Okay, I'm going to show you the difference. When you say export inside the query, what happens? It's like, here's your data, right? When you say export here officially from the listing screen, you see it's going to bring up this whole flow. This flow is preparation to get your report into the database server because it needs computation power that's not available for it, right? not available for it. Gosh, I kind of lost my train of thought, Bree. Did I answer that question?
I believe so.
Are you laughing at me? I'm joking.
Yes.
Yes, probably, right. I know, I know. I say I'm a genius toddler. That's what I say all the time. Like, okay. What else is going on? I wanted to show some things. Bree, any other questions?
That looks like it for the moment.
Okay, look, I'm gonna go. I want to show you something that is I think it's just these are going to be things that are just not really readily available. I mentioned it in the last one. I think I mentioned it in one in December. I don't know when I mentioned it. We're going to take these twice a month, and then the second one we said like maybe we would gauge some interest and do some stuff. But I'm going to dig into the tickets or the cases that we have, and I'm going to present to you some things that has been happening to everybody so that you can avoid having it happen to you. Right. And it'll bring some insight into the application because these things, when we start to troubleshoot things, we get away from what I'm calling product documentation and we get into like, hey, this is how you use this sucker real world. Right. So let me just search the forms here. Donation form. Let's just take a look at it. Right. And this is not form training. I'm not going to tell you about anything here. I just want to show you something. So you should know about forms already. Right. A tad bit. So if we manage the form, here's the use case, right? So I have this one time, it's 50, it's 50, it's 50. We get feedback that it's not quite clear that this is a field that can be manipulated to the best words I've found. It just resonated with me. Choose your best gift, right? Choose your best gift. So that's what I say instead of other donation field. I say choose your best gift, right? So we want to kind of like trick this up a little bit to have more of a workflow or a presence that says such a thing, right? And you may not like this. It's okay. No big deal. So we'll go to the form here. We'll go to the layout section. Wizardry under gift amount, no doubt. That's where everything happens, right? One-time amounts. I'm just going to do it for one time, right? I'm going to add a new one-time amount. I'm going to leave this sucker at 0. And then I'm going to add a description. And my description is choose your best gift. And I'm going to save. Great. Then I'm going to go and view the form again. So that we can see here now we have choose your best gift. When I click choose your best gift, guess what happens? This zeroes out. So to me, that's enough indication because you're going to have it on a default string. And then they're going to be like, no, that doesn't resonate with me. I want to choose my best gift. And then it's going to pop to 0. Okay. That's one way to get it done. You can also, I think you can manipulate this label. Bree, I think you showed me that you were doing that, right? I'm going to go take a look. It was the amount field, right?
Mhm.
And then was it just on the label? It's like show label, right?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Display show label. So we need to turn it on to show it first, and then it's under the basic tab here. So the label is the amount. Then I'm going to say best gift. I don't know why I want to put exclamations around all these things. Shouldn't do that.
Woohoo!
Yeah, I'm like yelling at people like, give me your best gift.
And I just wanna say super quickly,
I
thank you
would love for you to
for
say it.
thank you for anyone who is, putting future webinar suggestion topics in the
Mhm.
chat, because we are definitely striving to know what you guys are interested in learning more about or getting better at or, anything in that vein, so keep the suggestions coming.
I turned on the label and it has a little bit of a config problem. I don't know if that's because of the environment that I'm in or not,
Hmm.
but I don't have any problem showing that for sure that it said best gift over here on the side of the field instead of on top of the field, right?
Hmm.
But it clearly says best gift there for sure. Bree, you can correct me later on what I've done wrong here, but
Okay.
click that and then do that, right? So I wanted to show you these buttons 100% and then this here drowns you out to 0, then it says best gift and then add best gift. I'll take a look at this and see what I can find. I think it's probably this form. I'm not sure. Okay, that was one thing I wanted to show. Just some general stuff that we get repeats, right? So I want to alert everybody to this. Okay, there's a Help Center article about it. What is it called? Email verification. Email verification. I did get some feedback that I move quickly. So I'm trying my best, but that person is right. That person is right. I do move quickly. And usually I just tell people to put your seatbelt on, right? That's why we record these. But I'm trying my best. Trying my best. I don't know if that person's here today, but I'm trying my best. Okay, so we have this stuff here. So this is the double opt-in for the email, right? I want you to know that this is on by default, right? It can be turned off, but it's on by default. What does it mean for your organization? It means that anytime a contact is entered with an email, we're going to send them an email to verify their email. When they click the button, we add an attribution to that email that lets us know that at one point, and we'll put the date there, at one point, somebody was behind this email address. That means that if they're not answering, they're not interested. If they're there, they're answering, everything's great, right? But this email this email goes out to these contacts. And some people say they don't want this. And I'm fine with that, as long as you read the Help Center article and understand the capabilities of it and what it does. Educate yourself first, then make your decisions, right? Don't make any rash decisions, right? Just understand what it's about. If you need to put in a case and talk to me or Bree, totally do that. But they can be turned off. But some people are turned off by this email, right? They don't like it. They don't want it going after people. Then I'm going to show you how to turn this off. Okay. So again, to recap, there is a like a double opt-in. It's called email verification. It's on every time a contact is created, a new contact with an email, it sends it to you. This is what it looks like, right? Read the article, make your own decision. Here's where you can turn it off. Configuration. This is campaign settings. Yep. Default settings. And then deliverability. And here we have it. So it was verification. Default settings, delivery verification. Ours is off. It's on. It's off. Simple as that. You can save it. Okay. So just go there and see if that's something that your organization doesn't want to use. Simply turn it off. But I do ask you to please read the Help Center article because it's valuable for sure. But again, every organization is different. So I wouldn't blame you if you turned it off. Okay. I wanted to show you that. Compliance versus the legacy contact creation mode. Compliance versus legacy contact creation mode. We have a Help Center article for that as well. Let's see. This is, go ahead.
Okay. Does that email just identify CharityEngine, or does it mention the org so the recipient knows why they are getting it?
That is a great question.
Mhm.
It, I think it identifies the org, but there's no branding on it. So textually, it should, but it won't be a visual element that makes people feel comfortable. I think. I think that's the biggest point of feedback we get, and of course, we're looking at all feedback that we get and take it in. But I don't have a problem with the email if I want the verification on. I talk to large clients all the time who use this, right? So like one or two people may call in and be like, "Hey, is this spam or what are you guys doing?" Right? Like that. And we're like, "No, click it to verify your email." Right? So I know it's used plenty, but it just recently we've had a rash of questions about it. So I just wanted to bring it up and show everybody, right? Saying very succinctly, I am neither for it nor against it. This is totally up to you. Totally up to you. Um, but I might be a little bit more for it. Okay. Great. This is contacts. Did I answer? It's got to answer, right?
I believe so.
Okay. Legacy versus compliance. We have it here in this Help Center article, right? Please read through here and understand what it is, what it does, right? This is all connected with a bunch of nonsense, right? I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that. Let me go over here. This again is in the configuration module for sure, right? And this is going to be contact settings. So it was campaign settings. Now it's contact settings, right? So some logical organization there for sure, right? just to be able to find it, right? I want to manipulate the settings in my contacts, right here. So we're in compliant mode. Compliant mode means that any manually created contact is going to be created with communications off. Legacy mode means that any contact created is going to be created with communications on, right? That's the difference. Okay. What effect is that having downstream for us right now and for our clients? Manual creation includes importer. Manual creation includes manual creation, right? Manually creating. So if you're importing and you don't specifically turn the communications on, they're going to be created under compliant mode. So they're going to be created with no communications. Then what happens? Everybody feels great about what's going on. They watched the January open office hours and they realized that Brian is so right about the email blast workflow that I'm going to go use that. They did that. They scheduled it for later and then it failed. And why did it fail? Because all the contacts that created were created without communications on. Right. So this is again a decision that you can read this stuff here again. Helps in our article, of course, right? Helps in our article. Click here, it'll take you there. Read about it, right? See what's going on before you make your decision about what you want to do. If you have any discussions about that, you can totally put in a case. We'll talk to you about it, like what we believe based on how you use your workflows, like what is best for you, right? But totally can be a decision for yourself as well. Okay. But those are things that we've seen coming up recently. There's it's some email failures because of the way that the contacts are going in. So please be careful about that. All right. What else do we see? Just some really simple stuff, right? Large CRM basics. I talk to people all the time who maybe they've never had a large CRM, right? I call it like, well, I'm a sci-fi guy, like Dune. I say it's like riding the worm, and it's like it can be very unpredictable. There's a lot to it. There's a lot to it. So deduping. Okay, I've seen tons of this lately. The application needs to be deduped because dupes are a possibility always. I want to say that dupes are a possibility always. There's no situation where a dupe will never be created. And I joust with people about that all the time, and I will stand my ground on that. Deduping in a large CRM is 100% necessary on some recurring basis. Let me show you where it's at and why. Why? I use a very simple example. If I do a misspelling across my email and my name, I know that's a dumb example, and I put it in, you know what I mean? We're going to have a transaction there that's not really associated with who the transaction should be for, right? Let's say the dupe is created because I say BRYAN instead of, BRIAN, and now it's very, very obvious that that's Brian Moser, but I go to do the reporting. Brian Moser's two different people at that point, right? Like that. This stuff's got to be merged together. We do see dupes very heavily, of course, very heavily when you come out of implementation. Because when you come out of implementation, you just had these large data sets, coming in from everywhere, right? And we're putting it in, putting it in, right? Diligently doing what we should do, right? And asking you to verify and verify. Okay, the data goes in, it looks good, right? But there is dupes in the background for sure. So that first set of dupes should be cleared. And then there should be a schedule that you clear your dupes on a recurring basis. Again, here it is. I'm not going to, what do they say? Stand on a soapbox or something like that. I don't know. This is under contacts, right? So it's automation, contacts, dedupe people, dedupe orgs, dedupe households, right? So we go to people. And the idea here is we have a dedupe mode, right? Again, I'm not going to train you on this. This helps in our articles, believe it or not. So the mode, right? I just want to name, so it's like the mode could just be first and last name only, and we can click search and see if we have any dupes in here, right? And we do, right? We see first name, last name, but a different address, right? So we could say, oh, this is the same person because I know Marco. Yeah, this was his registration for the event, right? So then I'm just going to select. I'm going to hit, and I'm going to merge the selected. When I do, I get the pop-up. Which one do I want to keep? This is about primary data. Which one do I want to keep and which one do I want to merge? Right, and just say merge now. Click OK, and away we go. Right, and you'll be done with that merge problem. Right, you can view the contact if you want to. right? So I just wanted to say that deduping is extremely important for sure. I mentioned it earlier about transactions. That's extremely important as well. Again, most people are some, maybe from only an accounting perspective, where we're receiving the transactions and obviously, doing all of our accounting stuff with it, but also just view the transactions to make sure everything looks okay, right? So, for example, did someone come to your web form and try to register for something 6 times and was declined 6 times? Reach out to that person. You know what I mean? Register them by yourself, collect their information, do something about that. You wouldn't want that to just lay there as negative or no zero revenue and not have it come up in a report, right? That's a very basic example again, but something you should be looking out for all the time. A fraud is another one. You know what I mean? You should be seeing, do I have any fraud transactions? We have a help center article on that where you can go and see how to identify fraud transactions, right? So I did want to mention that as well. And then, was there anything else? Yeah, the web forms is the last thing, and then we'll get out of here. This has been long. Thank you, everybody, so much. I don't know who's hanging in there, but thank you. Bree, did you have anything else?
I did. I was going to slip one in real quick here.
Absolutely.
And just to acknowledge those that have left other feedback, we will definitely create cases for those and get them over to our people as enhancement requests and things of that nature so that, your wants, your what you're hoping to see are seen. So we're not leaving you hanging. So Gina also asked, what if people and household overlap?
People in household, what? What's overlapping?
Like
I'm
with what
sorry.
you were just talking about.
People in household overlap. Like it's a dupe? Dedupes?
I think that's what she means.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. If you
Sorry,
can ask it
Gina.
in a different way, Gina, we'll answer you. I promise you. I promise you. But I'm just not there yet to understand what the question is.
Yeah, for deduping.
For deduping, yeah, organizations so has their own, and I feel like I'm not answering this yet, but maybe this will get us closer. When we go to contacts, then dedupe organizations has its own database actually, so orgs would be isolated by themselves to do the deduping over here, and it works exactly the same way, right? You see fuzzy name and search, I can do exact name and address, name only, click search. This is set for today, so it's not going to bring anything up, but we may not have dupes here, right? So great day, no dupes, right? Early Friday, I'm off to my weekend, right? What else?
That's it for current. Oh, she just said in deduping mode, households and people were separate.
Yes,
Okay.
is true.
Okay.
I hope. I hope we're doing the right thing there, Gina. You can always put in a case. You can always put in a case. And Bree, so smart. Thank you so much. That is 100% true. I just wanted to make a small correction to that. We may
Please.
not 100% create cases for everything. We may reach out to you just directly, send you a meeting link, right? We may send you a video recording, right? There's multiple ways that we could achieve what we want to achieve. It just depends on how we feel we need to present the data to you and the information to you. I just want to let you know that. So it may not always be a case, but we
Thank
are going to reach
you.
out for sure.
Yes, we actually had someone earlier on that asked if we could do a video on a different topic. So
Oh, great.
awesome. Thank you.
Excellent. Yeah, videos are on the way. They're on the way in some form or another for sure. I believe that, especially for tips and tricks, 100%. That's on the way. We're going to get those up in Help Center. I promise you. I promise you. I feel it's my duty to expose how to use this application more efficiently, right? I always have I always say this, and someone said it to me. It's not a knock on our application. I promise you, large CRMs are like this, but there's a lot of knobs. There's a lot of knobs, a lot of things to twist around. I think he said like getting in the cockpit of an airplane and it's like you're just like, okay, like I think I know how to fly an airplane, right? It's like this thing and then like this thing, right? Like rudders and that, and then it's like all of a sudden you have like 100 switches. You're like, I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't know why I was saying that actually. I lost my train of thought, but hope that's valuable. Hope that's valuable. Bree, keep me straight. That's your
This is
job. That's your
Brian and
job.
I all the time, you
No,
guys.
it's terrible. It's terrible. But we do get a lot done. We
We
get a lot done
do. We
for
do.
sure. Okay. I hope I did good there. I always like to do good. Did I do good, Bree?
Absolutely.
All right, thank you.
Always.
All right, I feel better. Any other questions?
Um, this one I'm not sure. Have the training videos been updated?
Is this Academy videos?
I'm not sure. Andrea, which are you referring to?
I know some of them have been updated, and I know we update those on a recurring basis. So if there's one that needs to be updated, you could certainly suggest.
For sure.
100%.
Yes, she said yes.
Okay, great. Then yes, if you're finding something that you'd like, we may already have it like on a schedule. We'll just let you know, or it's something that we'll put on a schedule. We'll let you know. But yes, we're actively doing those things as well. And like I said, the the help center documentation, we know it's very like engineering, like on purpose. We're trying to set everybody, stand on a ledge that this is our best practice. This is how we work. But I just wanted to mention again, we are coming out with some other sections that'll give you some tips and tricks, like the stuff I'm showing you here, because there's, it's like, um, it's just so valuable. It's just so valuable, and I'm always so surprised at what people don't know just because they don't know maybe where to go or how to go. We're going to solve that. We're going to solve that this year, 100%. I promise you. It's my promise to you that if you stay with me, we will use this application to its fullest this year. I promise. All right.
And
What
just
else?
a quickie, to mention that our previous webinars are going to be on the main website. Um, don't have an exact soonish,
Yeah,
ASAP.
yeah. And this
We're
doesn't
working
mean
on it.
everybody should put in a case. Please, not everybody put in a case, but we've been advertising the sign up in our case notes and our responses and our emails. So we can do something like that. Once we have the location of these, we can just advertise that in the cases, and then we can send out like a mass email of some sort and kind of reach everybody. But we'll do something. We'll do something. What else, Bree?
Mm, yeah, regarding the videos and being updated, specifically the training videos on the new interface were what they were inquiring about.
Okay, great, excellent. You have that written down, right?
Oh yeah, we got it.
Excellent, good deal. It is, we're going to cut it here at 3:30. That's plenty, right? That's plenty. So in the last 3 minutes, if anybody has any questions, last minute they can put them in, and whoever stuck around, again, really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. If you don't, that's fine. Bree, if you have anything else to say, any other questions, let me know. We can give it a minute or so.
Sure.
A minute of silence.
It didn't go that poorly, Brian.
Uh, Yeah, I hope everybody has a great weekend. I do mean that from the bottom of my heart. I know end of the year was very stressful, And if you're having, someone mentioned to me today, they were like, "Oh, you guys must be blasted with end of the year questions." We're really not. So if everyone out there is on top of their end of year business, congratulations. I really love that. If not, of course, you can always reach out to us and we can help you for that. Some of the biggest thing we see is like backdating transactions, right? Like some came in after. We need to get them back to the year 2025. I have a nice video on that. I can send anybody who needs that. Yeah, tax receipting now, right? Tax receipting, into your tax receipting. I think those are probably the biggest. But if there's anybody out there who needs any help, just let us know. Just let us know. Okay, Bree, unless you have anything else, I think that's it.
Yep, I am all good here too.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Have a great weekend, everybody. I really appreciate
Thank
it.
you, everyone.
Yep, for sure, for sure.